does the cadence, the appropriate cadence of client communication or channel change over the life cycle of your relationship with the client? Because you already brought up that it's really critical to kind of set the right tone and right expectation as clients are new. You're onboarding a new client, you're building this relationship from scratch, even if it had some some preliminary activities. But how does that change as you go? Maybe now you've had a client for 5 or 10 years. What is that different than that first year?
Yeah, well, a lot of it depends on your service model, probably. But like in my experience, the need for in-person, we'll call it communication type A, is the meetings.
A is the formal meeting,
and B is the asynchronous stuff. Like synchronous decline, the need for synchronous declines over time, and the need for asynchronous communication to me stays somewhat steady. Let's put it this way. You can get by with asynchronous communication as long as in the early stages you had a lot of synchronous, right? So if meetings were a part of your original kind of relationship foundation, you have a deep connection and an understanding of this person, you don't have to continue at the same cadence with the synchronous type of communication. But what usually ends up happening is all that most advisors have to depend on is synchronous. They are just doing meetings and phone calls and Zoom calls. And that's when stuff gets done, and that's when the relationship gets built. The challenge is during those meetings, a lot of times, there's not as much getting done in terms of tasks and implementation and projects that the client wants to see completed. You're doing all that outside of those meetings.